Welcome to the last Christmas treat of the season. We started out with treats by saying mistletoe and wine, and that Christmas is so mixed up in our world today between our culture, what we see on the media, and what happens within the world, rather than actually look to the Bible. And each day, a Bible reading has been given to try and refocus us to what the Christmas story is about. Our adventure began with the birth of the baby and why he was born in Bethlehem. We then heard from the shepherds, and they were fearful, but they overcame that fear and entered a place of light, and they were joyful and full of the joy of the Lord. We then heard of hope that Jesus is coming again. You see, his entry will not be his first time upon this earth. He will come again. We discovered the origins of the world's Christmas and the fact that it's really a celebration of winter solstice, and that gifts are given at that particular time, and our Christian culture has basically stole that away from the world, because there's something much better to celebrate at this time of year. We saw that many people think that Jesus was born into a poor family, while his father was a carpenter. They could afford a room. His father had a profession, which was much sought after, but they were forced into going into a stable so that the baby may be born, because there was no room for them. I wonder this Christmas time, do you have room for him? What would you do if you were a wise man? They visited him, they gave him gifts. What gifts are you going to give Jesus this year? We sometimes think that we have to live by faith alone, but if we are obedient to God and we follow him, God will give us proofs that we are following his will. We then looked at how we prepared to take a risk, as Mary and Elizabeth was, to walk with God so that they could be with him and he could be with them. And that's the same for us. We then look at some of the traditions of swaddling clothes are mentioned twice in the Bible, in the New Testament. And we discovered they're very symbolic for the Jewish people. Then about the fact that the love letters from God, his Bible, have come down to us. And during the Christmas story, we hear the word favour is mentioned during the birth of Jesus. And I wonder if you this day have God's favour. And favour means God's blessing is available to the likes of us and enables us to do things which we would normally think impossible. So we've looked generally at the Bible story. We've discovered some of the meanings of the words that it contains and the traditions that we've made up and have been handed down to us. But what should it really mean to us? During this time of year, we give presents to each other, but do we accept the gift that God has given? Do we accept the gift of his favour, which God has provided? Do we have courage in this world of fear? So we can be people of light, so that we might be a blessing, because a child was born, Christ was born, to enable us to become his people, so that we would be reconciled back to the Father, so that as a people, his favour would be upon us, and this world would change and move from darkness into light. So as you look at this Christmas time, I pray that you are secure, that with our brief time together with these Christmas treats, that you have a better understanding of Christmas. And while perhaps we celebrate it with presents and food and drink, On Christmas Day, perhaps, you might just think about asking yourself this question. Have you received a gift that God has already given? And have you presented him with a present, which is your heart and life, so that he might choose you, so your present, future and eternity would be forever secure and safe?